This is the third part of Module 4, and in this part of the module we will be looking specifically at doing subject analysis and doing subject heading searches. And again, we will be using two online sources for getting our subject headings, and that is Sears and the Library of Congress subject headings. You will find the Sears subject headings through the WKU Library's Topper Information Portal. It's in the Wilson Web database, and once you get to the Wilson Web database, you go to Sears subject headings, you select that box, and then browse. And I will show you that in this module. We will be using the Library of Congress authorities, particularly the name authorities, to find proper names, which we will be also using when we are doing cataloging. Now, as a reminder, subject headings are comprised of main subject headings and subdivisions. The main subject heading is typically a topical subject heading. Sometimes it's geographical, but it's typically topical. And then the subdivisions in this order are geographic, chronological, and form. Often students who are beginning in subject analysis will put the form heading first, like encyclopedia, because if it's encyclopedia of cats, you want to do encyclopedia with the subdivision of cats. But that is not how a library will be organized, because typically if an encyclopedia of cats is not in a reference collection, it will be in the area of the library related to cats. If it's in a reference collection, then within that collection the encyclopedia will also be in the area related to cats. There's really no area related to encyclopedia unless they're books on how to create an encyclopedia, unless they're books about encyclopedias. So form does not go first. Form goes last. So if I see anybody that is putting form as a subject heading first, I will be saying, shame, shame, shame on you. So here's a couple of examples. Let's say we have an encyclopedia of prehistoric wildcats in North America. Our topical subject heading would be prehistoric animals, a subdivision, wild cats, a geographical subdivision, North America, and a form subdivision, encyclopedia. Now let's say we have an atlas of Kentucky during the Civil War. Well, what we have is a topical subject heading, United States, History, Civil War, 1861 to 1865, with a subdivision Kentucky, and another subdivision for Atlas. Now you can add another geographic subject heading to specify Kentucky, but this allows, if you're in a larger library, then that book will be in the U.S. History Civil War area, and specifically in a place related to Kentucky, instead of being in a geography area where Kentucky, books related to Kentucky are located. So you can see how you develop your subject headings really has a lot to do with where your item is going to be in your collection. So let's first take a look at subject heading using the Sears subject heading list that is available from Wilson Web. Now, if you look at this URL here, this is the shortcut URL that takes you directly to the login page for Wilson Web. So the first time you can locate this by clicking through, libraries and databases, then selecting Wilson Web, then selecting and then going to the login page for that. But once you get there, bookmark that site so you can go directly to that page and just log in. And this is the home page for Wilson Web. And you notice what we're going to do is browse the subject heading. So I've highlighted this browse area. Instead of search, we're not searching. We are browsing. So that gives you a whole list of terms. And we have to select the Sears list of subjects. And then we select subject terms. So this takes a while for you to get this part right. But once you get this part right, then you will understand how to search for terms. The first thing you do is you go to Wilson Web and you log in. Then you select Sears list of subjects. You select browse. You select subject terms, and then you enter in the subject heading you're looking for. And for this example, we're looking at cats. So I'm showing you 3 screens that will get you to the information you need. The first screen that you will see when you select cats for subject terms is a list. If you search for cat, you will not find anything in the Sears list. That's one of the issues related to problems with controlled vocabulary. But if you search for cats, what you will find is a subject heading for cats and a subject heading for cats with a subdivision literary collections. You will choose whatever is most related to your search. If we're just looking for a term that will generally describe a nonfiction book about cats, then let's select cats. The next screen, you will see the subject heading cats, and you will see references. Use cats as a subject term for felines and for kittens. Okay, this is the authorized Sears subject headings for anything related to cats. When you select that, what you will see is a Dewey Decimal Classification number, either 599.75 or 636.8, and depending on what your item is about, you will choose either one or the other of these numbers. With this area, it says that we may subdivide geographically, so if we're looking for cats of North America, we can do that. To find a geographic term, you can go back to Sears and you can browse for geographic terms, but that would be a subdivision. And then there are broader terms such as domestic animals and mammals. There's related terms such as wild cats. If you're looking for wild cats as opposed to domesticated cats, then you would probably use the wildcat subject term. If you're looking at a book that's about cats and dogs, then probably you'd want to use the broader term domestic animals. So that's the process of using Sears list to find the subject heading related to your item. You browse, you enter your term, you will get a list of terms which you select one that you believe would be appropriate. Then you get a display with references, and if you think that's appropriate, then you select that, and you see the related Dewey Decimal Classification, broader terms, and related terms. We will be getting some more practice with this on our discussion board activities. So, for example, if we had a title called Barron's Encyclopedia of Cat Breeds, A Complete Guide to the Domestic Cats of North America, with a description, this book is an illustrated descriptive directory of virtually all major cat breeds available to prospective owners in America, a reference source for cat lovers and breeders everywhere. We would know that the order of our subject heading will be topical, geographic, chronological, and form. We will go to Sears and browse. We will find the subject term cats, and then we will find the appropriate subdivision in this form subdivision, in this case, encyclopedias. So that is an example of how you would apply a subject heading and a form subdivision. Now we will be looking at an example of how to use the Library of Congress for personal name heading subject searches. And this is the shortcut to the Library of Congress authorities. Once you go to authorities.loc.gov and you select the name subject heading, you will find this URL, and if you bookmark it, then it will take you right away to that subject heading. In the back page, in the front part, you will see that how you would do a name subject heading. You would select name authority headings, and then, for example, I'm searching for the name heading for Michael Jackson. In Library of Congress, it's last name first. So what you would do is Jackson, comma Michael, not Michael Jackson, because that won't bring anything up. But you do Jackson, comma Michael. You would do Obama, comma Barack. You'd be doing Bush, comma George. That's how it works with the Library of Congress, and you have to make sure that you select the name authority heading as opposed to the subject authority heading. This is a name, a personal name. So when you do that, you get an authorized list, and when you see this tag called authorized in reference, you know that this is the authorized name heading. And so when we're doing catalog for the author, you need to always find the authorized name heading for your author, and this is how you do that. You go to the Library of Congress authorities and you do a name authority heading. That's what we will be doing in this class, and you'll see it has oftentimes it has the name, last name first, comma, and the birth date. That's the full name heading that we always like to have. And if it was a biography about Michael Jackson, this would also be a subject classification. And so, for example, there's quite a long list of approved subject headings and subdivisions for Michael Jackson. For example, a subdivision is childhood and youth. Another subject heading is relations with children. There's all kinds of books and titles related to Michael Jackson. So this is what you would find when you were doing a Library of Congress name heading search. And that is the end of Module 4. And that's the end of Module 4, and we will be doing a lot of practice work in the area of subject analysis and classification. If you have questions, please post them to the discussion board. This is not something that you get right away, so don't get too frustrated if you have trouble using Sears or Library of Congress. We'll be discussing a lot of this information online.